So, good afternoon to everybody that's joined us today. We are, I think, live now, and so welcome to the first Future Made Clear live Q&A episode for 2023. I'm Secretary General of FEVI, the European Container Glass Federation. My name is Adeline Farrelly, and I'm very happy that you've joined us to talk today about a very interesting topic. We organize these Q&As to have the opportunity to discuss issues of interest to our customers, to our suppliers, to basically the glass community who are interested in working with glass packaging. And this year, despite the countless political, social, and economic challenges that we all faced this last year, 2022 was still a unique opportunity to show how resilient glass is, and where we've managed to be able to come through. We're not out of the crisis, but we faced a terrible year of crisis, but we managed to get through it and to continue to meet exploding demand in glass. It was also a very interesting year, 2022, from a glass perspective, because the United Nations had honored glass with naming 2022 as the International Year of Glass. It's the very first time ever that the UN has honored a man-made material of glass like they did last year. So we had a lot of activities also to celebrate our material. We actually made a mini film about how glass makes the moments that matter in our lives. And I would like to encourage you to have a look at that. It didn't win the Oscars, but it's an excellent film. And basically, with that in mind, I want to basically ask you to listen in today's episode to highlight the central role that glass has played for thousands of years, because what we're going to learn about today is a center in France that started many, many, many moons ago and is today a real hub for the glassmaking industry. So it began the 19th century, and it's now hosting over 70 or over 60 companies that are operating in the glass manufacturing community. So without further ado, let me introduce to our speakers to you today. So Jean-Marc Arenbourg is Saverglass Group Chairman and CEO. He's member of the Glass Valley, and he's also a FEVI member as well. And before joining Saverglass, Jean-Marc had already built a very solid background in the glass industry. I think you're a worldwide expert on glass. So welcome, Jean-Marc.
Hi, Adeline, and thank you for the invite, everybody. Happy to meet with you.
So, and then Stéphane Franconville is president of MG Group France and vice president of La Glace Valley. Stéphane Franconville has more than 20 years experience, and during which he actually founded a number of companies. And then he decided to unite all those companies together under one umbrella called the MG Group. And so today the MG Group is really known for its expertise in producing very highly specialized, I would say, glass molds for the premium glass sector. So welcome, Stéphane.
Hello, Adeline. Nice to meet everyone today. And I hope we will have a nice conversation.
I hope so too. But we're going to try to do that, okay? So thank you everyone for joining. Let's get to the first question. Stéphane, I'd like to start with you. From the Egyptians, so from very, very long time ago, from the Egyptians to the Mediterranean glass makers, we know that the bond actually between glass packaging and the luxury industry goes back a very, very, very long time. But it wasn't really until the 14th century when the Romans began to explore different sites around Europe, and they settled on the Brel Valley in France, which then later focused on luxury bottle making. So, Stéphane, can you tell us a bit more about the story of the Glass Valley, how it began, and how did the small group of glass makers evolve in the Glass Valley, evolve the Glass Valley into what it is today?
Okay, let's go back to some bit of history. So the glass industry in the Brel Valley dates back from the Middle Age. In fact, we found historical implantation from the 15th century, when the glassworks settled in the forest and started using the resource to produce glassware, flat glass, and at that time was especially for windows and stained glass for fine homes and churches. Then in the 19th century, the glass industry turned to luxury bottles, because at that time the world of perfumery began to develop, and it was developed among the Parisian bourgeoisie first, and especially one of the well-known companies such as Guerlain was originally from Abbeville. Abbeville is a small city close to the Glass Valley, just a few kilometers away. Then all these companies began to collaborate with our glassmakers in the Brel Valley. And one step also at that time was a very important element to develop the glass industry was the creation of the railway line Paris-Le Tréport. At that time, it boosted the transport of glassware product to the city centers. So many of the actual glassmakers developed their business along the Brel River and took advantage of the industrialization and mechanization period. And then, since the 19th century, the luxury glass packaging market has been developing a lot and continuously. From the technology came from glass blowing to semi-automatic and later automatic production. So the glass production has constantly adapt, to the modernization and mechanization. The transmission of the know-how and the expertise went over the centuries in the same area. So this is where the history begins for the Glass Valley.
But Stefan, thank you very much for that. And so fast forwarding to a couple of centuries beyond the Egyptians and the Romans, and how big is the Glass Valley's ecosystem today? And can you tell us a bit about the kind of products and services it offers?
Sure. So a little bit about the dimension. Glass Valley is a world-leading luxury bottle producer. It brings together over 60 companies that represent around 10,000 specialized employees. All these companies are established in an immediate geographical proximity, and this is creating a unique industrial hub, let's say. This capacity represents more than 70% of the world's production of luxury bottles for the perfume, the spirits, cosmetics, and pharmaceutical industries. If we balance these figures with what the information we get from the FEVE, the glass packaging adds value to the product, and together they are enabled of an international trade. In fact, FEVE calculated the amount of European-made products are likely to be packed in glass and that are exported outside of Europe. The amount is about 250 billion in 2019. You correct me if I am wrong, Adeline.
No, that's correct. You're correct.
That represents a whopping 10% of the total made in Europe. So the total made in Europe EU exports, right? Mm-hmm. So this is more than plastic pellets or organic chemical and even aircraft. Mm-hmm. So this is about some of the to present the ecosystem. And if we talk about what is the Glass Valley today and the service we provide, so Glass Valley is a global association. We try to bring together a network of know-how, and this is the result of centuries of tradition, of course. And we regroup specialized companies in the different stage of glass production for bottles, jars, and carafe. We regroup company like model maker, foundry, mold makers, sorters, decorators, and of course, glass manufacturers. The skill and the expertise of the Glass Valley members make this area a hub, as I said earlier. It's like a sort of a one-stop shop, and we are capable to offer some of the world's biggest brand in perfumery, cosmetic, and spirits, with a wide range of traditional product, and it all is made in France.
Yeah. Well, premium packaging, the luxury packaging sector is, you always associate it with perfumes, of course, and cosmetics, but it's also a very important part for the spirits and the wine sector. So, Jean-Marc, I'd like to just turn to you and say, okay, so glass packaging is really at the heart of everything you do in the Glass Valley. It makes the Glass Valley the perfect partner for the luxury industry. But in your opinion, Jean-Marc, how can it help meet the customers' quality criteria? And I know that you are very active in the spirits and wine sector. Jean-Marc.
Yeah, Adeline, and I mean, give me the opportunity to start with one thing that it's well known. Glass has been for decades now the consumer's preferred packaging material. And beyond our passion as glass makers or as part of this sector, as a matter of fact, everyone looks at glass as a fascinating and particularly suitable material. Why that? I mean, it's probably because of its properties, which are particularly ideal for luxury products. First of all, it's an inert material, which means that there is no interaction with the content inside. There is an optimal preservation of organoleptic qualities, which is obviously very important for products that you really taste. It has a longer shelf life, which is, of course, ideal for wines, cellar wines, and spirits in upright positions, highly valuable. It's endlessly recyclable, which is it's a key point. Every kilo of glass collected in Europe is 100%. Each of these grams are recycled, which is something that's really has been worked out for 50 years and more. And it's even reusable in some cases, as mentioned Stéphane just earlier, for perfumery, or even in some local consumption situation like local beers. Another great asset is related to design through versatility of shapes, brand differentiation, and providing unique personalization of the brand. Last but not least, I will mention that purity and transparency of the glass, it really announce the content and show off the contents, like conveying the actual color of the product, which can be particularly spectacular. Let's think about rosé wines and dark or color liquids also. So compared to other packaging materials, it's right to say that glass is the only one that combines all these advantages.
Yeah, I can't agree more, Jean-Marc, with what you say. I mean, glass is one of these materials that we're lucky to have such a great material that has all these properties with it. But maybe if I could turn back to Stéphane, and you mentioned earlier that the Glass Valley represents over 60 companies who all have very different specificities and services that they offer, the glass makers and the glass community in the Valley of Brel. And I guess you would call it a kind of vast interconnected ecosystem. Can you explain what it means to be a hub or ecosystem, and how is this community of companies working together to advance glass packaging?
I may try. In fact, there are several factors that make up this vast interconnected community, as you said, that makes our name the Glass Valley. Maybe I will pick up 4 of them. The first one is the proximity. Glass Valley represent more than 60 companies. we already mentioned that, all interconnected together in a value chain, and we are all operating in the same area, from less than, let's say, 40 kilometers away each other, in a very close geographical distance. So the first would be the proximity. The second is the expertise in all stages of production. The Glass Valley, again, is a complete supply chain that we gather together companies specialized in the different stages of the glass production. Whether we want to produce bottles, jars, or carafes. In the Glass Valley, as I mentioned earlier, you find all the chain of value, from the model maker, the foundry, the mold maker, sorters, decorators, the glass makers. And in these glass makers, some of them can produce more than 1 million bottles a day. So we have a very large capacity. The third factors, according to me, is the complementaries company. We don't have only the companies involved in the glass production, as I mentioned. We have also complementaries company settled in the same area, like manufacturers of accessories and company for the transportation and the storage industry. We have all the necessary equipment to deliver a completely finished product to the luxury and high-end packaging industry. It's like a turnkey solution for high-end. And the fourth point, let's say, if I have to make a resume, is the capacity of the Glass Valley members to share the know-how. This is probably because of the proximity, and everybody is speaking the same language, let's say, technical language. They share know-how, the expertise in the Glass Valley ecosystem. And we have here a center of excellence for the development of the most complicated and high-quality packaging. This proximity enables the co-innovation between the suppliers and the customers, and we offer that to the market.
So it's quite a complete list, or ticking a lot of boxes to create a community of knowledge that's shared between the different companies specialized in this in the glass sector. And so, as a member of the Glass Valley, Jean-Marc, and chairman, actually in your role as chairman and CEO of Saberglass, which is a luxury glass manufacturer for the wine and spirit sector. What do you think are the biggest challenges facing the luxury industry right now?
Adeline, I think you mentioned the crisis since 3 years, when everything has been, to say the least, a bit unstable in terms of inflation, in terms of demand, which has been very low in 2020 and then very high since then. We have a lot of complexity to deal with, and I would like to mention that all my colleagues from the Glass Valley and beyond them in Europe are doing their maximum to follow the demand, the growing markets, the need for agility and volumes that the customers are asking, the need for luxury products. So, but I will not comment too much on that, but everyone has that in mind, because our customers, and I suppose there are a number talking or listening to us today, are probably also living that, sometimes with difficulties, but they should be hearing from us as a global sector and common players. We do our best and work hard in each and every dimension to find solutions, and the additional capacities that each of us are bringing year after year are significantly showing that we know how to take risk, and we know how to add to the party some part of the solutions, which we probably are. So if I come back to your question, sorry to have been a little bit deriving, Adeline.
Okay.
I think the glass sector is really facing something which is new. It has two dimensions: social and environmental uh, challenges. One of the key being the growing environmental awareness, which is all around the place, not only for glass, but of course we are absolutely taking that as in our strategic roadmap. As you know, sustainability is high on the consumer agenda, and this has therefore become a top priority for our customers. And we really know that and are concerned about it. As part of the industry vision on furnaces for the future, that's probably our audience have heard of, the glass packaging industry is really committed to reducing the environmental footprint of glass packaging. I named the qualities before of glass. I think nobody will deny them. But the key question is, how do we produce glass, which is really something that is a concern, and we have to turn the model, which is obviously something very disruptive and not easy to go through, but we have to work. And that's what I think we work, all of them. We work on better resource management. This industry is continuously investing in reducing and optimizing energy, which is obviously one of the important parameters. And we little by little, sometime, but significantly, steadily, are switching to green and renewable energies. So that's one. The second thing I would like to mention is the right weighing initiatives. Uh, there has been increasing pressure and debate even on limiting the weight of glass packaging. Also, with the revision of the packaging waste directive, these modifications pose a challenge to our industry, as they can jeopardize product design and brand differentiation, which is key when you want to bring to the marketplace uh, uh, unique and exclusive products, which are designed in a way that are really making the difference on the shelf or in any consumption situation. These are things that we work on very hard. Reducing weight while maintaining the high-end design of glass is one of the cornerstones of the industry. And on this regard, we have several initiatives ongoing aim, aimed at producing lighter and stronger glass packaging while respecting its identity and tradition also, and providing what is expected, which is also a decarbonization strategy that I have commented quickly before. But it's not the only one. The increasing recycling collection, I touched it very quickly, is very important, and I would like to mention the increase. We're working on with the value chain to increase the amount of recycled glass, and in Europe through the glass loop, while we're still ensuring that all product design requirements are met. So this kind of constraints, which are sometimes contradictory, we have to meet and to find the right balance between this. But let's have in mind that every 10% of recycled glass used in our bottles reduces energy consumption by 3% and CO2 by 5%. So this is certainly a way we're working on. It doesn't solve the whole issue, and we have to, as I mentioned, find the way to invent the furnace of future without or with limited CO2 emissions. That will take a lot of effort, that will take huge investment, but we are serious about finding solutions together about that. The biggest challenge for the luxury glass industry will be really to find the balance between regulatory and environmental constraints while still staying innovative and, if we can say, virtuous, to continue supporting our customers in the way they promote their brands. This industry will have to reinvent traditional values, we believe. We see this point, this period of time, as a step change in our paradigm, and we need to be agile, flexible, cooperative as much as we can, as was mentioned by Stéphane. And I think we're growing in that direction to be able to find solution for the industry that will, at the end of the day, provide solutions to the market and to the customers.
Well, Jean-Marc, yes, there's a lot to be done in our industry. We are undergoing some kind of revolution, I think. Very important period and very exciting period today. And maybe to you, Stéphane, and Glass Valley in particular, Jean-Marc mentioned that sustainability is a major challenge, one of the major challenges. How are the Glass Valley members innovating to tackle these challenges?
So Jean-Marc made it quite clear, and it is really aligned with what the Glass Valley members are working on today. All Glass Valley members are working hard together to create a better and more sustainable glass packaging. And we are talking here about a specialty in the glass packaging. We are talking about the small bottles for perfumes, for pharmaceutical, and jars for the cosmetics, and containers for the spirits. The Glass Valley members are ensuring a better monitoring of the customer needs. They are working hard to find innovative ways to meet the customer demands. This is what Jean-Marc mentioned earlier. It's we have to find a compromise between the necessity of the brand to create their differentiation on the market, and at the same time to consider all the factors of sustainability for this product. The collaboration between the Glass Valley member and the share of the know-how, together with the local proximity, are really the key point for the Glass Valley to provide a better answers to these problematics. We have a very close loop with the local proximity between the producer and the suppliers. This is really helping in terms of avoid the unnecessary transportation, between the suppliers. The Glass Valley also is really hardly involved in the decarbonization initiative. Already several initiatives has already get started, as you maybe most of our spectators today are listening to us, and
audience.
Sorry. So probably the audience today already seen the news about some of the glass makers of the Glass Valley already announced to move to electrical furnaces, or this type of initiative already implemented. But this is something we can do for the small furnaces that we use for perfumery glass and the pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
They can move to full electrical furnaces, and it's already done on pharmaceutical. And in parallel, for the larger furnaces, like Jean-Marc is really aware of that, used for the spirits, I think it's more moving to hybrid solution on that side. But basically, I'm going probably to repeat what Jean-Marc said, but the Glass Valley our members are following the 4R principles, and the first R is reduce the glass volume, try to find the right weighting. We already do that on jars for cosmetics and some other product. It's a compromise, of course, to keep the customer differentiation demand and try to answer this point. The second R is reuse, use again through the thread finish. This means the product life for the perfume is not finished after you finish your bottle. You can change the finish of the top of the bottle, and you can reuse again, refill the bottle. The third R is recycle. We recycle glass is used for production of premium product today. This was not even imaginable before. Premium brand were looking for the shiniest product, the best product. So nobody could imagine we could use a completely recycled product. But today we are doing that. The fourth R is replace. We have a trend. We can see this trend today of switching plastic material, especially in cosmetics. Let's finish this list of R with a D, and because the Glass Valley is the Glass Valley member really today offers a disruptive solution to the premium brands. Sorry, Adeline, but one of the last point, maybe we were talking about the sustainability, but in the Glass Valley, you know, our people are very important, and all the Glass Valley company built their expertise based on the know-how, based on the team that are working in each company, and today almost every members of the Glass Valley offer complete training program internally inside the facilities. And we have already highly skilled people in the teams that becomes trainers to prepare the next generation of workers. And this training and transfer of know-how should, help to continue and go for a step further and address the future challenges.
Okay, Stefan, thank you for that. It's very complete, and thank you for the complete answers, but I'm conscious of time. So can I ask you to answer a little bit, condense a little bit your answer. So Jean-Marc, a call out there to, that the Valley de Brel is a very good place to go find a job and build a career, and there's it's a shout out to attract workers. I think they offer a very interesting career for somebody who wants to specialize in the glass community. But let's just go to consumers quickly. So all these innovations, these groundbreaking innovations and the sustainability commitments, what can consumers expect from the luxury industry? What's your ambition?
Okay, I will try to be short. So in a few, like in a nutshell, I would say that this industry, and it's been really impressive in the recent years, is really serious about its roadmap, its ambitious roadmaps for tackling the decarbonization objectives and in general, all the initiatives that will meet climate challenges. So if there is one thing to be said is that we're all working enormously, sometimes together, as what presented in the Nuit du Verre that we recently had in Paris, together with the Glass Valley actors, and Stefan and myself were part of it. And I truly believe that it's a step change in the way we work together for finding solutions for this sector and this industry, and really coping with the expectation of consumers, which are on luxury, but on the rest of products in general, expected. As I said, glass has a lot of qualities. Now we need to reduce one of the key things, which is the CO2 emissions, and it will take a lot of efforts and initiatives, and it will take some time, but I'm pretty sure that we'll meet the objectives that we've raised. We have a lot of commitments. Each of the company have made these roadmaps with cutting numbers in the good direction along the road until carbon neutrality. And some of us, like Save a Glass, but some others have already been certified by SBTi, which is well known when you need to have somebody from the outside saying they are serious about the way they calculate and they design their roadmap. So that's what I want to say shortly, Adeline, because there is too much.
Thank you, Mark. But can I just a quick, because we talked about CO2 and what the industry is doing to become carbon neutral, but just on the technology side, how are the Glass Valley's members driving what we call the glass industry 4.0?
Yeah, such a big name for so many initiatives that we're not, that's one of the things we touch also recently, to be honest, to be fully transparent. But there is a lot of capabilities that is coming out of this concept of Industry 4.0, which probably are going to also modify a lot what has been the key things of our industries, the people, skilled of the people, training that we provide are key in our industries. The time they stay with us is also very important. Career pathways are key for us, and we do all our within most of the time academies, internal academies, but sometimes external. We do the best to provide them new skills and new capabilities. This will be very important to change from a kind of artistic industry, which is obviously a little bit surprising when you know glass industry, but let's kind of simplify the image. And for many years it has been evolving, but now there is again a disruption possibility through learning, machine learning, efficiencies that are going to be brought to production, to putting under control better parameters of production and in general processes. I will not go into detail because we're running out of time, but all of this will bring another level of skills and competencies within our teams, which will only provide the possibilities that we mentioned throughout this Q&A in terms of moving ahead and finding solutions for the markets.
Thank you, Jean-Marc. So the fourth industrial revolution will deliver better quality and more efficient industrial production systems, but we'll still need humans, hopefully.
Hopefully.
So, Stefan, last question for you before we take some questions from the audience. So, what will the future of Glass Valley look like? You're sitting here. What will the future look like?
In the name of Glass Valley members, I would say, first, our ambition is that the luxury packaging market will remain strong and concentrate in France in the coming years, with the Glass Valley at the forefront of innovation. I believe it will remain one of the main players in the glass industry and a global luxury packaging manufacturer. But at the moment, we have challenges in recruiting new talents. I believe we are not alone in this situation in all Europe.
Yeah.
And especially in this actual, let's say, post-COVID era, right? But we have the quality and the training resources internally in each companies to meet the challenges ahead of and hire more and better talents.
Yeah.
So what
I think you're right.
Just if I may try one word, but the Glass Valley is molding. I know what I'm talking about, mold, right? But is molding multi-skilled. When we talk about the people, we are molding multi-skilled job profile, and this is what we are very unique in Europe. It is a key point for the future, and Glass Valley is offering a fantastic career development possibilities.
So good man, Stefan. You're flying the flag for recruiting. Okay, so I don't know whether there's any question. I think we just have time for one question. I mean, we're running a bit over time, but I mean, let's just see. Okay, so Maruso Sakaki, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but you have mentioned collaborations with other sectors. Does this include the cap sector for glass packaging? Cap, I suppose the caps, the closures.
Closures.
Yeah. Stefan,
Yes,
I think you're maybe a better place to ask that.
We have actually in the Glass Valley members, we have glass closures and caps manufacturers, and they are, of course, they are worldwide companies, but they have implementation specialized in the perfume, spray, and so on, or pharmaceutical. They are implemented in the Glass Valley already. So even these, complementary activities are just next door to the Glass Valley and the glass production. So I don't know if this is answering the question.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, so yes, the answer is yes. Okay, maybe I don't know whether there's any more questions we want to answer, or we should just probably finish here. So yes, I think we can wrap up. So basically, thanks a million to both of you for taking the time today to tell us a little bit more about the Glass Valley, and also to the audience for logging on. So maybe if I just want to sort of summarize, I don't attempt to summarize the whole debate, but basically many moons ago, in the Middle Ages, the Glass Valley started actually sowed the seeds of some of France's oldest traditional industries that are now enabling France to export across the whole of the world. And it all started from the Valley of Brel. And now you have been able to transform that valley into a hub, bringing together all the different service suppliers and all helping each other to work together to service the luxury packaging industry. And basically, there are challenges, but you're definitely working on them. And I'm very, very pleased that you basically joined us today to tell us about this valley. And maybe for the audience, we have a glasshallmark.com website. I'd like to encourage you to go on that website, because there are examples of case studies of the different companies, what they're actually doing in terms of decarbonization. And I know you'll be keen to know exactly, concretely, what is happening. So please take a look there. Thanks a lot, everyone. And we hope you'll join us for future Q&As for Future Made Clear. And so for now, let me say goodbye and thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye, Hall.
Bye, Stefan.
Bye-bye. See you soon.
See you
in the Brel Valley.